Hi, everybody. So I hope you had a chance to see the Blue Angels this morning. I know, I'm sorry, I posted that a little bit late. I kind of had a family emergency yesterday and things are working out fine now. Um, Everything's back on track. And tonight, and I'll post this on Class Dojo, we can see the planets really well. I think it was Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus in the night sky. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post that on Class Dojo as well. Okay, but today we're going to continue with our nonfiction theme. We're going to go into my amazing sense of hearing. We're going to be talking about hearing. You know how we practice our ABCs, right? Well, I have a friend who is deaf, and he was the first deaf student I ever had, believe it or not, one of the first. And he's the one who taught me how to sign. So he has been posting BWXYZ, trying to do two things at one time. So we are going to work on our sign language this week, and I thought that'd be really cool. So, and he has some books that he has signed. So I'm going to share those books with you. It's going to be a very exciting week. But so today I'm going to talk about my amazing sense of hearing, because I think it's important that we understand what hearing is. You know, it's one of our five senses. Do you know what our five senses are? The way that we see and feel the world. It's with our eyes, our nose, our ears. We hear, we see, we smell, we hear. Taste. Don't you wish you had a hot chocolate chip cookie right now? So think about see, smell, hear, taste. There's one more, and it's right here. Touch. I hope you got that one right. So let us begin. My amazing sense of hearing. Look it. I want to point something out to you. Not only do I put the barcode down here, but I also put the barcode right here. So there's two places that I can scan a book. And notice that this has a brand new barcode on it. Ooh, okay, there you go. So this is, and it has a number on it, 612. Remember that numbers mean nonfiction. Numbers and nonfiction begin with the letter N, I hope you said. So nonfiction, we've got the little yellow tape there too. That gives us a hint. Brand new book, so I hope you enjoy it. And this is going to be a little bit longer, so I'm going to do my best. Look at that table of contents. Woo! And again, our nonfiction features are the table of contents, the glossary, the index, the read more, and learn more online. So let us get started. Sounds all around. Look at all those sounds. Can you see? And look, of course, they've got a chicken. Do you not just love this book right away? When you listen to music, your sense of hearing is helping you to have fun. When you hear the alarm go off at a school fire drill, your hearing is keeping you safe. Every day you hear thousands of different sounds. It is not just your ears doing the hearing, though. A whole team of body parts is working together to collect and process these sounds. What exactly are sounds, though, and how are you able to hear them? Look at all those beautiful sounds. And here it talks about our five senses. And we just talked about those: see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. How sounds are made. You see him playing the guitar there? It says, if you strum the strings of a guitar, you will hear twangy sounds. Strumming the guitar strings, or how are those sounds being made? Strumming the guitar strings makes them vibrate or move very fast. As they move, they create vibrations in the air. These vibrations in the air are called sound waves. Your ears collect these waves and in less than a second, turn them into sounds. So they travel very fast, 1 mile in just 5 seconds. And this shows you how the waves actually work. Okay. You can't actually see the waves going through the air, but this is kind of like how they do it. You strum and these vibrations go out. Ears in action. Every noise that you hear is made up of sound waves traveling through the air. The part of your ear that sticks out from your head collects these sound waves. Then it guides them into a tube called the ear canal. Having an ear on each side of your head allows you to better hear than if you only had one ear. That's because two ears can collect sound waves coming at you from both sides. So the part of the ear that you can see, this part, whoops, is called the pinna. It's made from a tough rubbery tissue called cartilage. And here's the picture that shows the parts of your ear that are deep inside your head. So this is the ear canal. You never want to put anything in the ear canal. Okay. And then we're going to talk about all these other little things. Your ear canals produce a shiny, sticky substance called earwax. Earwax traps dirt and keeps it from harming the inner parts of your ear. Earwax also helps fight infections that could damage your ears. Now, sometimes people have gotten tubes in their ears because they get a lot of infections. Vibrations on the move. Sound waves travel down your ear canal until they hit your eardrum. So do you see here? Boom, that's your eardrum right there. Your eardrum is a piece of skin that is stretched tight across the ear canal. The sound waves make your eardrum vibrate. Then your eardrum passes on the vibrations to a tiny bone called the malleus. The malleus moves and hits another bone called the incus. Finally, incus passes on the vibrations to a tiny stapes bone. Your eardrum is kind of like this. It's kind of just like a drum, but then here are those teeny tiny little bones, and those teeny tiny little bones vibrate. Look at the size of them compared to a dime. So the malleus, the incus, and the stapes. And there they are in your ear. 1, 2, 3. Here come the sounds. Your eardrum passes vibrations from the malleus to the incus to the stapes. Next, the tiny stapes bone vibrates against a part of your ear called the cochlea. The cochlea is filled with liquid and contains cells with tiny hairs on them. The vibrations from the stapes makes the ripples in the liquid inside the cochlea. The tiny hairs are moved by the ripples and turn the movements into messages. Then the hairs send the messages through the nerve cells to your brain. Boys and girls, there's a lot that happens in your body. Were you aware of that? So here we have the ear canal hits the drum, which hits the malleus, which hits the incus, which hits the stapes, which hits the cochlea, which hits the nerve cells. And look at this is created by a microscope. Remember how we talked about microscopes? It shows the hairs inside a person's cochlea. In the photo, the hairs are thousands of times bigger than in real life. The cochlea contains about 15,000 tiny hairs. They're so small, you can't see them with your eyes. You'd have to use a microscope. Now, your brain has to do the work because all this stuff is happening, but we need the brain to understand it. So the message from your cochlea travel along the nerve cells to your brain. In an instant, your brain gets to work. It processes the messages and you hear a sound. From a dog's bark to music, every noise you hear is just a vibration in the air. Your amazing sense of hearing, however, turns these vibrations into sound. So the person plays the guitar, sound waves move through the air and collected by your ears. Inside your ears, the waves are turned into messages that are sent to your brain. Your brain turns the messages into the sound of music. Help with hearing. This is important. Not everyone hears in the same way. Some people have hearing loss because of injury or illness that affects their ears. Some people are born with a hearing loss. A person's hearing loss might be able to hear some sounds, but not others. Some people cannot hear any sounds at all. And there are ways that people with hearing loss can improve their hearing. Now, some people's ears need help in passing the vibrations to the cochlea. Wearing a hearing aid, and you really can't see it. It's a little teeny tiny little wire inside of his ear. You can barely see it. And there's a little thing in there. Wearing a hearing aid can help people's ears do this when they hear sounds more easily. Most hearing aids are worn on the outside part of the ear. So there's a little piece that might go in here, and then there's a part that comes around here. Mr. Nielsen wears hearing aids because when he was very young, he was in the Navy. In those big planes like we saw today with the Blue Angels, he worked on something called an F-14, which was a big plane. And he didn't wear those earmuffs because he was too cool. So now his ears are damaged and he has to wear hearing aids to hear. So he wasn't born that way. He became that way because he wasn't careful with his hearing. Some people have damaged cochleas. They have an operation. A doctor puts a tiny piece of electronic equipment called a cochlear implant into a person's cochlea. The implant then does the work of the cochlea, helping the person hear. So if you've ever seen a person and they'll have this thing right here, but then there's always like a piece right that they wear on the back of their head. So those two things help the cochlear implant work. Okay. I don't always remember how they get that there. I want to say it's like a magnet or something. I'm not quite sure, but amazing ears. Your ears just don't help you hear. They also help you stay balanced. Deep inside each of your ears are 3 small loops filled with liquid in tiny hairs. If you tilt your head to one side, the liquid in the loop moves too. The tiny hairs are moved by the liquid and turn the movements into messages. The messages tell your brain that your head is now tilted to one side. Then your brain can tell the rest of your body to stay balanced so you don't fall over. So here are those. Okay, they're called the semicircular ear canals. So did anybody ever spin you around and you get dizzy, right? If you spin around and then stop, you'll feel dizzy. That's because the liquid inside your ears is still moving. Because the liquid is moving, your ears keep sending messages to the brain that you're spinning, and your brain doesn't know that your body isn't spinning. And for a few seconds, your brain is confused. It's this confusion that makes your brain feel dizzy. Isn't that interesting? So it's kind of like this. So like if I spin this water around, right, and I stop spinning, it still spins for a little bit after I stop. Right? And that's what's happening when you spin. That little liquid in your ear is still spinning and it's sending a message and your brain's going, I don't know what's going on. Without your sense of hearing, you couldn't hear music, movies, or people talking. Your hearing keeps you safe by allowing you to hear cars, fire alarms, or someone shouting a warning. Sorry. It's good to know, therefore, that there's a lot you can do to keep your ears healthy. But the most important thing to remember is to never poke anything in your ear. This could harm your ear canal or eardrum. Take good care of your ears and they'll keep on enjoying your amazing sense of hearing. So some other things that you can do is very loud sounds. Like for Mr. Nielsen, they damaged his ears. So if you're wearing earphones and the music is really loud, you could be damaging your ears. Or if you go to a concert and you're standing next to a speaker really loud, that can damage. Earwax will wash out of your ear on its own whenever you wash your hair. So it's not a good idea to poke anything in there. And if your ears hurt, or if you're having trouble hearing, tell a grown-up. They can arrange a doctor's visit. So here is our glossary, okay, which is our nonfiction feature. Here's our index. Here are some books. And here's our Learn More Online, which I will post underneath this. And then tomorrow I'll have something very interesting. And maybe a book tomorrow. And then I'm going to have 2 videos of my friend. I almost fell on my chair, guys. I almost moved. I'll have 2 videos of my friend, Mr. Guzman, teaching us some ASL. Okay? So everybody have a good day. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Love ya. And thank goodness Mrs. Nielsen didn't fall down.